If you practice jiu-jitsu, judo, or any kind of grappling sport, strength matters. This is a fact. And if you're not strong enough, you're not going to perform well in your sport. How are you supposed to close a submission if your ability to squeeze your opponent's neck is not enough? And how can you perform in Uchimata, for example, if you're not able to lift your opponent's body weight on one leg? And how can you increase the power of a double leg takedown if your legs aren't strong enough to produce that force in order to go through your enemy? Also, another problem is that grappling, all these different styles of grappling, are contact sports with high risk of injury. Also acute injury, so you twist your ankle, you turn down your shoulder, you tear your shoulder, or you can have wear and tear injuries, so you have to sustain a lot of volume from technical work, and this can cause you to have some hip pain, to have some knee pain, all of that shit. So if you are not resilient, you are going to injure yourself. You won't be able to train as much, and you won't be able to develop the skills that you would have developed if you would have been more resilient. The answer to these two problems, which is lack of strength in technical abilities and also injuries, can be solved with strength training. The problem with strength training is that on social media you hear a lot of different opinions and bullshit. There is too much noise because some people are talking about fitness, some people are talking about bodybuilding, hybrid training. There is no one who is telling you the things that are good for contact sports specifically. It's not clear what to do, how to perform it, but today I'm going to share with you how to structure your strength training program so that it takes only 2 times a week by a full bodyweight workout, and you can start making progress in your journey and get injured less, so that you can become stronger, more jacked, resilient, and better at your sport. The first thing is the week structure. You only need 2 days a week of full body strength training. You can decide to stack it in the same day of your skill session. For example, what I used to do, now I'm working too much so I'm not able to do that, is I would train at lunchtime I would do weight training, and in the evening I would do skill and judo training. So I used to do that because I like to stack high intensity training in the same day, so that the next day I can be more relaxed and give time to my CNS to recover from the training that I've done the day before. Or if you are not able to do that because of work, life, whatever, you can alternate skill training and lifting. Okay, so you can choose these 2 kind of ways in order to structure your strength training and judo training. The second thing that we have to look at is the session structure. If you train as a bodybuilder and train muscles in isolated movements, you would need around 2 hours, 3 hours to complete all of your workout. What you need is performing the four compound movement patterns, so that every muscle is stimulated and your body learns how to coordinate itself better. There are 4 movement patterns that you need to perform, which are the squat, the hinge, the press, and the pull. You gotta perform the harder movements like the squat and the hinge first, and then go with the press and the pull. After that, you can do also some isolated movements so that you can target joints that usually hurt or that usually are more prone to injury. What I like to do is neck training work, because I tend to have a lot of neck pain, but if maybe you tend to injure more your wrist or your ankles, so you pay more attention to that specific areas once your compound training is over. Now you might ask, how many sets, how many reps, and how much weight should I use? You should start with the minimum effective dose, which is the minimum amount of work necessary to stimulate adaptation. By adaptation I mean hypertrophy, muscle that gets bigger, tendons that become more thicker, and ligaments that become more resilient. This is adaptation. So your body basically becomes more stronger over time. The minimum effective dose for strength is 2 hard sets per session per 15 to 12 reps with 3 reps in reserve. It's pretty high as number of reps. My advice it's because my advice, as a beginner, you should perform sets with high reps, far from failure, especially if you're performing compound lifts, because you need to learn the movements first. Once you've learned how to perform these compound movements, start progressing by adding 5 kilograms to the hinges and the squats, and add 2.5 kilograms to the press and the pull exercise every week. If you feel that your form is falling down, if you're not doing a good technique, keep the weight for an extra week. Don't be obsessive with the form, but try to be as clean as possible so that you don't incur into strange pain, aches and injuries, and you also keep targeting the muscle that you want to improve. After around 12 weeks, something like that, it would be more difficult to add more weight to the bar without lowering the reps. So when you hit that plateau, you switch to a moderate rep range, which is 8 to 12, and then you keep progressing with that weight every week. I will put you around, I don't know, here, an example of what a strength training session could look like for a beginner in grappling. You can copy this program and then you can adapt it to your necessities. If you would like to help with injuries, if you have a problem with your training and you would like to have some advice about managing your training, write me an email at this address and book a 20-minute free consultation with me. I hope that this video was useful. Remember to aim upward as always.